Hello Trailblazers, welcome to the Trailblazers Palette podcast. In this episode I'm joined by artist, drawing teacher and founder of Love Life Drawing, Kenzo Fry. Kenzo started Love Life Drawing about 10 years ago after becoming serious about learning to draw people. What began as a personal study journey has since grown into a thriving online community helping thousands of artists build their skills with clear, practical guidance. In this conversation, we talk about what it really takes to learn to draw, especially when you're starting from the beginning. We explore the value of simplifying forms and values before getting caught up in detail, how consistent practice builds confidence, and why learning to draw is often more achievable than you think. We also talk about making art practice feel lighter and more sustainable, returning after falling out of routine, balancing creativity with family life, and the challenge of bridging the gap between what we imagine and what we're currently able to create. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Welcome, Kenzo, and thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's an honour.
So to start out with, what's your favourite way to start your day?
My favourite way to start the day is kind of not available to me because basically my son just goes, Dada! And then I have to run in and play with him. And my daughter wakes up much later, so we have to be quiet. But he wants to be really loud. And this is the same every single morning pretty much. And he won't let me even go to the toilet. He just wants me to play and focus on the game. So that's every morning. I don't know what my ideal. I don't even know what my ideal would be.
So at the moment, it's his ideal morning.
His ideal morning. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
So what ages are your kids, Kenzo, if you don't mind saying?
So my daughter's 7, my son is 4.
Okay.
And they both really love drawing and painting, which is cool.
Oh, so I guess you've fostered that creativity in them.
I don't know though, because a lot of kids do, right? It's like way more common to be into drawing and painting if you're a kid for some reason. And then at some point it drops off. Like most of the kids we know, if there's paper, they'll just start sketching, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like a natural, they're naturally drawn to those things, aren't they? And they just do them.
Yeah. Yes. And none of them are like, well, I don't know none of them, but none that I know of go, I just can't draw. But that's a very common thing you hear among grown-ups, right? I mean, when I mention that I teach drawing for a living, the number one thing I hear is, oh my God, I can't draw, But kids never say that. They go, look at this. This is awesome. Look at this picture that I did. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not that barrier to maybe when we start at some point judging ourselves and,
Right. Yeah. I think I actually remember that emerging in myself, like as a teenager.
Yeah.
Because like right now, my daughter will do a picture and she'll be like, this is awesome. Put it over your desk and make sure it's really visible. And I'm like, man, I wish I had that confidence, because I'm like, oh my God, my picture is so bad. I don't want anyone to see this. Whereas she's like, oh man, that's not clear enough. Like you won't see that every day if you put it there,
It's true. So, I remember sort of doing the whole, any courses you do with marketing your art and that, it's always like that selling point. I always struggled with that. And my kids would always be like, Mum, you're like over here in the corner going, buy my art.
Yeah.
They're like, you should be like front and center and buy my art. There's just that confidence.
It's true. I think that they could market my art and stuff way better than I could.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of they're very sort of positive about what I do as well, which is really nice.
That's sweet.
They're sort of equally enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. So I guess why art? How did you come to being an artist?
Yeah. So I like my mum is an artist and my brother's an artist. My uncle was an artist. So I kind of grew up with it around. So it's always a sort of a path. And I didn't, almost in an act of rebellion, like wasn't going to do art for a while. And then, I had an office job and my mum's like, yeah, so when are you going to, start doing something cool like art?
I love that.
And so it's kind of the opposite of some people's experience. But obviously I've only got my own life experience, but there are all these sort of visual experiences that we have, right? And the way the light's coming through the window, or something like that. And just feeling like that is really important and wanting to be sort of closer to that. And then you see a painting and you go, oh, they captured that thing that I was kind of feeling, and I didn't really know what it was, but that painter was able to bring it out, and then sort of realizing that, and maybe some people have that, but it's more about the sounds that they hear, which I don't really have as much, but maybe those people become musicians or something, right? And some people have like the written word, and the way that is, the way that those words, that's just so beautiful to them and stuff. For me, it's like visual stuff. And then when people have that, I feel like there's no getting away from it. Like there's no point resisting, because it's kind of built into you. And so I have a lot of students and stuff who are like trying to quit, and but they always come back. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. It's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah. If you've got the bug, whatever it is, I think it's about how you feel visually when you see certain things. It just means so much that you got to just embrace it, I think.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess if you can tell us about Love Life Drawing and how that has come about.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of get into drawing and make a living from it, and I couldn't draw well at all, like really not at all. And but my mum was good at drawing, so I was like, how about we make a website and I'll be learning and you'll be already really good, and that might be interesting. Like I'll show my learnings and you can show your awesome stuff. So we started doing that, and then started making YouTube videos eventually, and really enjoyed that. And I felt like there was a little bit of a gap in what was out there in terms of instruction, because a lot of people who teach art are amazing at art, which is good, right? But they've kind of been doing professional art for a long time, and so they're amazing and they teach really well. And we're really lucky to have so many really good teachers. But they may have forgotten what it's like when you just can't see the stuff like you can when you're a beginner, or in other words, can't see stuff. Whereas I really do know what it's like to not be able to see. I knew very well. I could make stuff that sort of starts at step 1 and then goes to step 2 and then goes to step 3, rather than being like start at step 101 and then to 102 to 103. So I was trying to fill the gap between 1 to 99, and then you could go. And my goal was like, after you hang out with us for a bit, you could go off and read the book by this master person and stuff, and it would work for you because we'd filled in the gap. And that's kind of still the goal.
Yeah. And I think because I've joined your study group this year, and I think that's what I've found. Like you're right, there are, and I've got a big long list of courses that I've got to tick off, but I was always finding the same, I guess, challenges when I came to, I guess you'd call it the fundamentals or the foundations of, drawing, portraiture and that. And have really found that the study group has filled a lot of that, still going, but filled a lot of those gaps in for me.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, it's I've got that list. I've a literal checklist of courses, and there's like one ticked for every 20. But my favorite thing is, when people are like, oh, I had this book for 10 years, but it's only now that I'm like really getting a ton out of it. Yeah. I guess the classic example is an anatomy book.
Yep.
Because, you read an anatomy, it's like, people say learn anatomy. So you start, diligently learning anatomy, and it doesn't help your drawing. Right? Because the anatomy book is a really good, comprehensive reference. And it's kind of like reading a dictionary to learn a language. It sort of makes sense, but it doesn't really work, right?
Yeah.
And so you start reading an anatomy book, it goes, okay, well, let's start with arms. There's 5,000 muscles in the forearm or something. And so if you kind of learn just these big, really, really simple ideas about the figure, you would have seen this. I go on and on about the rib cage egg. So like not the individual ribs, but just this big egg, basically. and then this sort of pants shape around the hips and an egg shape in the head and stuff like that. If you get quite confident with those, then eventually you will get to that point where you open the anatomy book and you go, oh, that muscle wraps over the egg here. And then it's useful, because you're already drawing the figure. And now you have a thing where you can like layer on just the next little sort of step of anatomy, if that makes sense. But yeah, I've spent so much time just memorizing forearm muscles. I don't remember them anymore, but it was not useful.
Yeah, that's it. Like you were saying before, this deep desire to want to be able to capture something. And it's really frustrating, that gap between your skill, like what you're imagining in your mind, and the skill that you have as an artist.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a lot of people probably struggle through, and yeah, Love Life Drawing does kind of really nicely fill that gap, because you've got a lot of resources in there, don't you? I also love the 3D model online that I can move.
Yeah, so that's just got like that egg and the pants and stuff like that, right? So, I mean, if anyone wants to check it out, you don't even have to join the study group. It's on our YouTube channel. You can see, right? Like, all for free. But the sort of idea, and even if it's not our sort of model of it, there are various models of the figure that simplify it.
Yes.
But like the big principle to sort of think about is really big, simple first, and stay in big and simple for longer than you think before you start to, and this is like within each drawing, but also across your learning, like really try to get good at big simplification in terms of the forms, but also big simplification of the shapes of light and dark, and stay there for longer than feels right, because you're going to want to rush forward into the little details. And just kind of stay there and build that really well, and then start to get into a little bit of the smaller ideas and maybe get into the details, and then go back again to the big stuff and make sure it's still okay, and really look after that big, simple version. And this actually is the same for portraits, faces, for figures, and really for almost anything that you're drawing, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kenzo, what impact has Love Life Drawing had on you personally and your art?
Oh, I mean, yeah, because I started Love Life Drawing when I was starting to draw. The whole journey is Love Life Drawing, I guess. Every tutorial or whatever that I made, I was learning. I just learned that. I hadn't like mastered it and been teaching it for years. I was like, oh, I just learned this like yesterday kind of thing. And then and now I'm making a video about it. And to be fair, that was in the early days. It was like that. And I would say, I would kind of present it that way,
Yeah.
It wasn't like,
I love that though, because I know that I always feel like you're so relatable. And I think that I love that about you as a teacher, in that I'm like, oh, Kenzo's, he's saying he's felt that way. And, it makes it feel doable, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, if I say I understand the struggle, it's because I've really, really struggled really hard.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I understand the mistakes. It's like, because I just made them like 2 minutes ago kind of thing. I think I'm actually like really slow at learning this stuff, more than the students that I see in the study group as well. So like, I have a teacher who teaches me painting, and a big idea in painting is what I was saying basically, is simplify the values, but our brains really want us to complicate the shapes, right? So instead of like a big simple shape of dark and then a really simple, the way that he would describe it is like almost like a 5-piece jigsaw puzzle for like a 2-year-old, like really big, simple structure to the light and the dark. But I would always complicate it into a 1,000-piece jigsaw, lots of little shapes. And I would send it to him as homework, and he'd say, oh, you've overcomplicated it. And really nice, patient guy. And he's really good at painting. He's called Jared Cullum. He's really nice. And he'd very patiently say, oh, look, you've overcomplicated it. And I was like, okay. And so then I'd do it again the next week. And I did that like every week, the same mistake for about a year and a half. So it's like 75 times or something.
Wow.
And he would just every week, you've overcomplicated that again. And I was like, oh my God, if there's one thing I'm going to do this week, I'm going to simplify properly. It's one thing to know it, but it's another thing to actually do it. And for me, it took that much repetition to actually get it into my head. So I think I'm like particularly slow at picking these things up.
Mm.
But yeah, having Love Life drawing meant that I'm kind of really sticking to it, because you can't really make good videos about it unless you can go at the end of that sort of story. And
Mm.
now it's worked out. Here's the before and after. So I
Yeah.
have to get to that point. And so like keep like kind of consistently practicing it. So I think without Love Life drawing, it would have been more challenging, for me especially, just because I just could, it's so hard to like get these skills in place for me, and I think other people find it much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as an
Yeah.
artist too, it's, I don't know. I think we're our own worst critiques as well. It's just that, or do you find that?
Oh yeah, because I've talked to really amazing artists that I look up to, and a
Mm.
lot of them can't even look at their own stuff. And I'm like, if you can't look at your stuff, then what chance do any of us have? But your eyes just scan it for the one thing that's wrong
Mm.
that you wish was better, and it gets caught on that. And then you go, that's rubbish. Or I just, you can't like just enjoy it. Whereas other people
Mm.
will see all the amazing things that you've put in,
Yeah.
and often people will build up all these skills, but because they have a learning mindset, they're looking for the thing to improve, which is kind of a good mindset. But it also means that they can never just look at what they've actually done. And sometimes I'm like, the main thing you need to understand is that this is really good, because you might not even realize this is actually really, really skillful and you've put tons of good things into this, but you're probably just picking up on the one or two things that could be better. And I mean,
Mm.
I definitely do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kenzo, I guess why figure drawing and like why not, abstracts or pour art?
I think I'm more into abstract art recently a little bit, because I think, I was talking about like those visual experiences that really resonate with you.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, an abstract painting never resonated with me. And I think I just needed something in the picture to relate to, even if it's a landscape or something or a person, I can relate to that person. And then the beauty of the picture, I can connect to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, illustrations and yeah, figurative art and things like that. But what I noticed is I really liked it when it was really abstracted,
Mm.
but you could still see the thing that it was as well.
Yeah.
Because if it's completely abstract, it would move into the territory of just looking like blobs of stuff,
Yeah.
which I don't know, I can't relate to. But if it's got that little bit of, oh, I can see, even I can't even necessarily tell exactly what's going on, but it feels like a seascape or something. Then I'm like connecting to the abstract design. And so the more into drawing and painting I get, the more I'm sort of seeing that, what I actually have been enjoying is the abstract design, but I've only been able to connect to it because of the thing I can relate to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to sound silly, but there's a scene in the second Spider-Verse film. Have you seen that?
No,
Across
I
the
haven't. I'm going to
Spider-Verse?
have to go look though after this.
Oh, it's amazing. There's a scene where it's going to sound really silly, but Ghost Spider, who's this character, she is like reconnecting with her dad in this one scene, and they're in their flat, right? And the background of this scene is reflecting their emotions as they talk it through. It's not really a spoiler, but they get to a point where they resolve things to some extent, and the background kind of breaks out into this like abstract painting, because I could relate to their discussion, right, as a dad and a daughter sort of healing their relationship. That completely abstract painting, I totally felt that. Does that make sense? I totally
Yeah. Yeah.
understood it. So I guess I'm just kind of stupid about it because I need like a narrative or something. Like I needed that meaning there, the human, because like art's about human connection, right? I needed
Yeah.
some sense of humanity in there.
Mm.
And then the abstract painting really resonated.
Mm.
Eventually I will be able to go and look at abstract art and and kind of feel something from it because
Mm.
I kind of understand it more.
Yeah.
But even now I'm still needing that kind of something to relate to and connect to inside of it, even if it's just a little story to go with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I
Yeah.
had a mentor for a while, and he'd always say, you need to story tell your art. Maybe that sort of does come into it.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, there's an artist called Pascal Campion who does really nice illustrations, and I always find that they tell a really clear story. There are moments with his family or something, but I always find it adds a ton. He just adds a short title, and
Mm.
the title really adds a lot to like he picks the words, I think, really carefully,
Mm.
and so the title adds even more
Yeah.
to what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I must admit, I do find it hard to connect to some abstract art. Like, I know there's one in the gallery in the city, and it's just a white canvas with a black blob in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's not really any description with it or anything. So I always find that really difficult to,
Yeah,
be
because I don't
like,
want to. Yeah, that's how I
I'm
feel.
looking for meaning, maybe, whether I don't know if there is any or not, but yeah.
Yeah, and I sort of, I don't want to go in and go, oh yes, I really understand this.
Yeah.
The blob is so blobby, like just make something up. Like, but if it said like this is how I felt when I was alone,
Mm.
over Christmas or something, then I think I would,
Yeah, see, yeah,
resonate
that
with.
would. I'll always think of that now when I see that piece.
Yeah,
Maybe it was a lonely time.
yeah.
But yeah, quite often I will do that. I like that, like you said, that human connection, that finding something in it, and
In it, yeah,
yeah,
and it could be a sort of visual thing.
mm,
So it could be a design thing. So there are some design principles like how shapes relate to each other, how colors resonate with each other, and things like that.
yeah, yeah,
And so often in a landscape or a portrait, the thing that I'm really engaging with is the way that the warm colors kind of vibrate against the cool colors, the way that the shapes, there's a sort of similarity in the shapes across the picture, but then in the focal point, the shapes are different and it's kind of drawing attention. And there are all these different things that you could do completely abstractly as well. And so it doesn't even have to be a sort of a story, like a story, but it could just be pure design.
mm,
But even then, I'm still, my eyes are maybe still not sophisticated enough to just enjoy pure design without that element of something representing
yeah, yeah,
something tangible. Yeah.
yeah. When you were just describing that, there, I love that about art, that there's so much to explore. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many different ways to express everything, and I feel like it would take a lifetime to, yeah, be able to, I guess, do it all.
Yeah. No, totally. Right. And I think sometimes I feel like people feel like they do need to do it all.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
Yeah.
I know that's
Well,
one of my problems.
yeah, like I'm like, okay, well, my figures are looking all right, but I can't do like landscapes in oil, so I suck. I'm not. And so like and sometimes I think I have a student who's like, I want to draw a manga, but I'm not going to start until I'm good enough.
Mm,
And so I've got to learn portraits in charcoal because that's what artists do. And then once I'm an artist, because I can do a portrait in charcoal, I'll
mm,
start drawing my manga. And I'm like, well, the portrait in charcoal, it might help you build skills, right? Because you'll
mm,
be learning about faces and you want to draw faces in your manga and stuff like that. But I don't think there is really like, you don't have to sort of impose an art curriculum on yourself and say you can only make stuff that you want to make once you've graduated from this self-imposed curriculum, it's probably kind of good to reverse it, where you go, I'm going to try and make this thing, whatever it is. It could be loose water, whatever it is, you try to make it. And then you go, all right, I tried, it was really fun, but I couldn't make it the way I wanted to. So what were the skills that I lacked? And then just work on those. So rather than being like, I got to build this thing and this set of skills, and then I can make what I want, you make what you want. And then you notice the things that need to be put in place and work on them, and then try again. And then there'll still be things lacking, and try again. So kind of be pulled forward by it, rather than, I think that is a bit more fun, because you're doing the thing you really want to do, but also you're going to really just focus on the things that you really need, rather than trying to learn loads of stuff because you think you have to.
Yeah, I love that way of looking at it, actually. It's a really nice way to, like you say, get out of that self-imposed curriculum. That's a good one, I think. I mean, and you probably would know that from having so many students, that a lot of us probably do that. I know I definitely do.
I still do it.
Yeah.
I still do it, because I go on Instagram and I see something and I go, I should be able to do that. But it's not really the thing it's not really on that path to the thing that I really, really want to make. So maybe I don't need to do it. But I kind of feel like, I'll be an imposter if I can't do all of these different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you personally, Kenzo, what is that thing that you really, really want to do, like to get to?
Yeah. So one problem is there's a few things. And I think it'd be a lot easier if it was not a few things. So, but right now I'm actually making a graphic novel, and I'm trying to paint it in watercolor. And so that means learning a lot of stuff. I really love figure drawing, and I love drawing portraits, and I need to be good at those things too, because I'm, teaching those things, and they're really helpful. But also I need to be able to draw the scenery, right? So landscapes and rooms and stuff like that. I also need to be able to tell, if, like comic artists, they need to be able to tell a sequential story, right? So the panels, how they sequence, the poses and the expressions to go with the story, the pacing of it. And then they need to set the camera angles in interesting ways. So it's a lot, of stuff to learn. And I want to paint it so it looks, it's all beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I'm writing it too. So I have to also learn how to write a story, and there's that has its own million components. So I've kind of chosen something which requires a lot of different skills all at once. And I never really realized how much. I mean, obviously a lot of them the roles are broken up, right? So you have a writer, you have a penciler and inks and things like that. But I'm trying to do the whole thing. So that's what I'm doing right now. But it's, I don't know. I feel like, I think I'll be able to do it, but I think it's going to take about 5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it sounds like an exciting but a big undertaking.
Yeah. Quite daunting. So it's one of those ones where you kind of got to go, I've got to think of the process as the goal sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just can't wait to finish it, that's going to be that's a long way away, So I've got to really enjoy it.
I was going to say, it comes back to enjoying that process, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that's really hard, right? I can tell myself that, but I'm also like, oh my God, I really want it.
Yeah.
I really want to see it, I want to finish it and show it to someone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a long time, I think, because I'm just doing it in my spare time, basically.
Yeah. I guess on the back of that, I was going to ask you, how do you deal with challenges that you face as an artist, or those skill gaps, or, for you personally, how do you work through them?
Oh, yeah. So when you have a skill gap, it's a really good question, because obviously you need to practice a lot consistently. And generally it's like consistent practice is like essential, right? So I don't really have a problem with that. And the way that I've been able to make practice consistent is by mentally thinking of drawings as workouts, basically. So instead of thinking of it as an art creation process where I'm like, oh my God, it has to be a work of art, right? That I'm just thinking of it more like push-ups or something. So I just kind of, some days my push-ups are like, I'm tired and but I'm just trying to do them basically. If I can do them, then I'll have done them, right? And so for me, what's helped with the consistency is, number one is having a sort of bit of a routine. So in the morning, and then after I put the kids down for bed, I just start sketching and then I don't even have to think about it. It's like brushing your teeth. I make it really low pressure by the sketches go in the bin after. So I'm not like treasuring them. If there's a really good one, I'll probably keep it. I've got it super convenient. So I've got, the pencils here, and then I've got this board that I've put on a monitor stand, so I can just pull it in, and it's smooth newsprint. So it doesn't feel like, oh my God, this piece of paper costs so much money. It's like really cheap, but it's also like for me, some of the best paper to draw on. And so I can just pull it in, pull up reference, start sketching. And I've got like a type of practice I do when I'm tired, which is stuff that I already know. And I'm not trying to learn something new. I'm just trying to get reps of something I'm already good at. So that for me is figures and portraits, basically. And then when I'm more fired up, I'll put on one of those millions of courses that I haven't done and try and learn something new. So right now I'm trying to get better at my landscapes and stuff like that in watercolor and gouache. So I'll do that when I have more brain energy. And I won't try to learn something crazy when I'm tired or when I'm not really feeling it. But I will do something. So I'll do the sketches. And yeah, when it's something new and I have a skill gap, I'll take in some instruction, but also do a lot of master studies where I get an example of a picture from someone who does that thing well, and I'll try and study it. But the study will be really focused on the one thing I'm trying to learn from them. So rather than just copy the painting or the drawing that they've done, it's like, if I'm really interested in the overall composition of the values of the light and the dark, then I'll do a small thumbnail sketch just in black and white, focused on just those. And I'm not trying to make it look as beautiful as theirs, but I'm trying to understand their shapes of light and dark and how they guide the eye around the picture or something. Mm-hmm. Whereas if it's, I'm trying to get lines, there's an artist called Lane Brown who's a really nice guy, but I was like, I loved his lines. So I spent ages just trying to reproduce his lines, and I wasn't copying the picture. I was just literally looking at that mark that he's made with a flick of his hand or something, with a charcoal pencil, and trying to recreate it until I could use it myself. So it's like these studies which are really targeted on that skill, and then try and bring it into my own stuff. I say this like this is what I always do. This is like what I do when I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Quite often I'm just freaking out and crying and really but then eventually I remember, oh yeah, the thing that actually helps is what I just described, and I eventually do that, and then I learn it really quickly after. I usually try and shortcut it and just do it, and I'll just do it, and then I can't do it, and I get really upset. And then I remember, oh yeah, I have to do the master studies, and then I do them, and then I learn it. So that's the real process. Yeah.
Which I think I can relate to that a lot, because I think it was you, Kenzo, who said to me that when you miss a day, or, there is that challenge with something and the frustration, that you don't have to have the fanfare with
Oh yeah,
just
yeah,
I know that I keep telling myself that now, and it's really helped, because I'd make this big deal of it and I'd feel like I've got to make it, a big thing to, like, I've got to start again and I've got to, get back on track. And
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like,
That's such a
no,
big one.
actually, being a bit of a drama queen.
Yeah, and that really relates to this time right now, right? New Year's, because that's when people will make, and I do as well, like a big resolution and make a big deal out of it. And then as soon as life gets in the way and you can't do it, it's like, all right, well, I guess that's over. I made this big challenge for myself, draw 5 hours a day, and I haven't done it. So I suck and I'm going to quit, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, making it, this one guy, like a mental health guy called Mark Freeman, I've heard him call it stepping back on the path lightly, which is a nice way, I think, to describe it. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be, all right, from now on, I am going to, draw 5 hours a day. Then I'll go down the gym, run 10 miles and lift weights. And then I'm going to do this. It could just be, right now, I'm just going to pick up the pencil and just sketch a little doodle, and just very gently, like, because when you make a big deal of it, then it's a big deal when you mess up and you don't do it right. And if it's a big deal to start again, then it's much harder. Whereas if it's really a small thing to start sketching, it's not this big thing. It's really easy to start. It's less of a big deal when you mess up, easier to start again, because it's just this gentle, light thing that you're doing. Just like the sort of weight of it in your mind. Because ultimately, I have, people going, oh, I just can't get myself to sketch. And I really, and you're like, ultimately, it's like, all you have to do is, have a pencil and a paper and just make some lines on it. And it's the easiest thing in the world, right? And so it's all mental, like it's all about how you frame it.
Yeah.
And I think because it's like, it's art, then it feels so heavy.
Yeah, it can come with a lot of expectations on ourselves, can't it?
Yeah, you're like supposed to be expressing what's in your heart, and it's supposed to like move people and change the world and be amazing and original and all of this. Whereas if it's just more like sketching, it's like a little bit of a, you don't even have to think of it as an exercise, as a workout. It's just also fun, right? You could call it a doodle to really bring it down in terms of how weighty it is.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm just going to doodle some faces, or I'm going to, but the thing that works for me is to think of it as just a little workout, basically, just a little bit of exercise.
Yeah, I love that. I know that's really helped me personally. I think as well, I found the iPad really good because, like you said, about having that piece you can throw away. I found that with the iPad that it removes because I'm not very good at a sketchbook for whatever reason. I've just never been able to I've got all these pretty books and not much in them.
Right. Yeah. But the iPad's worked for that, yeah?
It works because I just move on to the next one and it's digital. So there's no, I guess, attachment to
and
that
you can just
thing.
make another one, as many as you like. Yeah. And you can make it disappear in an instant if you really
I know.
like. Yeah, I think
too.
it's really good. Yeah. And also it's kind of so convenient, right? Because it's like almost like a sketchbook. You can put it in your bag, you can do it on the sofa. I find it really nice to have a type of practice that I can do kind of slouching on the sofa, because sometimes I really want to just slouch on the sofa,
Yeah.
but then I can still be sketching. And if the sketches are really low pressure,
Yeah.
I found that one thing that I've aimed for is if I can get sketching so relaxing that it's the one thing I want to do at the end of my kids have been nuts and I've had loads of work and I'm tired. And the one thing I want to do at that point is sit and sketch. Then I know that I've got because it can be that, right? Because sketching can be really relaxing depending on how you frame it. Then I know I've got a good mindset around it because I'm really just not putting too much weight on it. Recently, I'm like, I need to watch more TV because I'm missing all these shows because all I'm doing is sketching because it's even more relaxing somehow.
Not many people
Which is
say that, Kenzo.
right. I know. I mean, I wasn't like that at all for
It's usually
ages.
I should watch less.
Yeah. But like, oh man, there's this show and that show and everyone's talking about it and I'm missing it. So I'm like setting aside evenings with my wife to watch something once a week because I'm being really lazy in the evening. And the most lazy thing I can do is sit and sketch.
Yeah.
So it can be really chilled, you know.
I really like that. I need to swing mine more to doing the sketching.
Yeah. Yeah. Although you do miss a lot of TV if you do that.
Yeah, that might be a good thing sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, that balance in life is nice though too, isn't it? You know, of sometimes just, having some shows you watch or, you know, that enjoyment.
Yeah, I think so. And especially if it's like really meaningful, like I really actually want to see that. I'm not just going to like, I need to do something. Whereas if when you watch it, like they're amazing. Like they're such works of art. They're amazing when you can kind of take them in that way. But, you know, for most of my life, I was just like, I just need something to distract me from all this stress, basically. So I'll watch something. Whereas, now it was quite a lot of effort actually to like mentally to get sketching to be so relaxed.
How long do you think it took you to get to that point?
Yeah, like years, really. Okay. I don't think it like I said before, I'm a slow learner, but I had a lot of pressure on it and I would do it in this sort of, oh my God, I should be sketching more and build up the pressure on myself and sort of get angry with myself until I did it, sort of thing. It definitely took a while to build that. One thing I say to some people is like, your practice habit is kind of like a furry little animal. And so you have to look after it. And if you don't look after it, it will die, you know? So like kind of nurture, like, and so what worked for me is going to be not going to work for everyone else. But what worked for me was these things I've described around different types of practice I can do when I just want to laze about on the sofa, practice that I do when I'm more energized and having it really convenient and all of this. And that work of finding those things and planning those things is like me trying to look after this little animal. And, you know, if I'm not practicing, it's because I haven't nurtured it, right? I haven't. Whereas I think a lot of people are like, they have this little animal. They're just like, why aren't you better? Why aren't you practicing more? And then the animal dies and they wonder why. It's like, because you kind of didn't look after it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a weird analogy, but
not really. I actually really like the visual of that. That's helpful to me. So yeah, I think that would work well to think of creativity as your little animal that you're nurturing.
Yeah, I mean, people usually don't want a cute little animal to die, and then we're likely to look after it. So that's why I put it that way. Yeah.
I've been looking at calorie counting apps recently. And there's one that, there's like a raccoon that you feed and I don't know.
That's interesting.
It makes it so much more enjoyable.
Oh, yeah. It's like your own nutrition is like a little Tamagotchi kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what
really
it reminded me of.
Yeah. The Tamagotchi type thing.
Yeah.
Time will tell, hey?
Yeah.
I was going to say before something you said about Lane with, like, you know, the way you copied his line and brought that into your own work. I really liked that because I know that looking at other artists' work and that can sometimes make me feel worse about my own. And so it's a nice way to, I guess, appreciate someone else's work but also bring it into your own and still use it in a positive way to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I do get that too, though, like sort of jealousy. I wish I could do that. I'm nowhere near that and all of that. But yeah, if you do those studies, it's like you're kind of absorbing their powers, which is cool. If you can like after you've done it a few times, you go, oh, and so then when you see something cool, you go, I can absorb that power. And then it's more like you kind of get greedy for more, right? I want to absorb more powers, you know?
I
So,
like thinking of art as little animals and powers. I think
so
that's
yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
Because that's the best, that's the ultimate, you know, when you have all the superhero teams and one of
Yeah.
them is able to just absorb everybody else's,
Yeah.
you're like, that's the
They're
best
like the
one, right?
ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about TV shows. I've just watched the TV series Free Run, which is like
I don't
Free
think I've heard of
Run.
that one.
Yeah, so it's like my boys were watching it. It's like sort of anima type,
Oh,
the
okay.
manga. Anyway, and yes, one of
Oh, I'll
the
check it out.
one of the ones at the end. But yes, her power is that like she can observe someone else and then kind of copy their moves and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's cool. It's good if she can do it just by observing them, because
Yeah.
sometimes, like in the X-Men, Rogue has to like she drains their life force at the
Oh yeah,
same
that's not
time,
quite so nice, is it?
which is really like yeah. And in the Highlander back in the day, you had to chop the person's head off to get their power.
Wow,
So
yeah, that's a bit dumb.
yeah, but as artists, we don't have to do that. We can just do studies
Yeah,
of their stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
fortunately.
Uh, so I was going to ask you, Kenzo, how have you found, I guess, parenthood has changed your art and your life?
Obviously it changed life
Mm.
very dramatically, right? It's like a shock. It's like an earthquake.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously it's brilliant, right? So it's the best. I mean, in terms of changing life, I found it's sort of obviously really hard, tiring, and there's lots of stuff to worry about and things. But there's also like there's no more wondering, trying to look for meaning or anything. Just look after my kids, love my kids. That's like the center of everything. So that's brilliant and lots of magic moments. But it is really time consuming and really tiring. So this obviously relates to this parallel interest, which is learning to draw and paint.
Mm.
It's weird, but I've got much less time and much less energy, but I feel like I'm doing more somehow. And I
Mm.
think one thing is that it's like when I after having kids, it was like I can't do most of the things that I kind of want to do, but I can choose like one thing that I really, really want to do, and I can absolutely go for it with that. And I can put I can but I had to cut out a whole bunch of things that I really thought I cared about, and I did care about. I just didn't care about them enough for them to be that one thing.
Mm.
And then drawing and painting is that one thing. So I was doing other stuff, and I just had to stop doing a lot of it. But if anything, I'm more focused on this, right?
Yeah.
And I think drawing and painting is quite a good one to do if you're a parent and you want to have a sort of other thing that you do, because you don't need some stuff, like if you're I don't know why this example but if you're in a row if you're into rowing, you need to get to a river or whatever and have a boat and have other people, and it's all scheduled presumably, and that's hard to fit in, right? Whereas drawing and painting you can just do in any moment of the day. You can have a sketchbook or your iPad and you can fit it in the evening. You can draw from photo references, you can, and it's relatively inexpensive as well. So you can learn a lot of stuff for free. You can do tons with very cheap materials. So it's really flexible, really convenient if you're willing to consistently do it. Whereas, if you're into collecting cars or something, then obviously it's incredibly expensive.
Yeah, it's
And
a bit less accessible, isn't it?
yeah. So I think it really does fit quite nicely.
Mm.
But the big thing is, there's a lot, it's emotionally draining and it's physically tiring to be a parent. So you don't want it to be super draining in your drawing and stuff as well. which kind of comes back to the making it very light and not putting so much pressure on it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. The tread lightly on those, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
building that drawing habit.
So how have you found it affected you and your art?
Huge.
Yeah.
Probably like, I mean, Xander's 19 now, but I remember when I first brought him home, it was just, yeah, your world pretty much turns upside down, and it's this
Yeah.
overwhelming, wow, I've got this person to look after now. And, you know,
Yeah.
and then having two more after that. And then also deciding to homeschool, that's
Oh,
been
wow.
a pretty big journey that has
Yeah, that's
impacted me
amazing.
hugely,
Yeah.
in good and bad ways, and, you know, different challenges and awesome
Oh, wow. I
moments.
didn't
And
realize so you'd homeschool. That's incredible. Yeah, I did
yeah,
see that, there are a lot of massive advantages to that for the kids, right?
yeah,
For
yeah,
homeschooling. Yeah.
yeah. And I
That's
think we've
cool.
found that it's had its advantages and also disadvantages time wise, probably, with, you know, art and that.
Right.
And
Yeah, it must
it,
take time, but that's awesome.
it's a different path, but probably a worthwhile one. I'm glad we did it. And
Yeah.
I only say did it because, yeah, my one son, he's, you know, finished school now, but my middle son, he's going to school for senior next year, and so I've just got my daughter that we're homeschooling. So yeah, it's sort of
Okay.
feeling like
So
there's shifts there.
you must know all that stuff that I've forgotten from school, right? About geography and stuff like that.
Yeah, they come up with interesting stuff. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool. Because I was looking over exercise books from when I was a kid,
Yeah, yeah.
like maths books from my A levels, and I was like, man, this kid is some kind of. How does he know all these equations? I have no idea what any of this stuff is. I don't remember doing it.
I do
Yeah,
leave the maths to my husband because it's not really
right.
my I was going to say it's not my forte. It's probably not my passion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's good to. Yeah, it's good if you can kind of like
Yeah,
divide it up between you. That's really cool.
yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you, Kenzo, how you balance the business side of art and also looking at, you know, Instagram, and how do you find that online world?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't really use Instagram, to be honest. We
Mm.
have one. I never open it. I easily get addicted to YouTube stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but for whatever reason, the Instagram app doesn't pull me in at all,
Mm.
and I feel like I should go onto it more, and I just can't be. I don't. Partly, I think these days there's a lot of. I keep seeing like weird AI stuff on
Oh
there, which is
yeah,
very
yeah.
off-putting. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Is that like the baby
but
videos and stuff?
just really weird
Mm.
stuff. Like, yeah, there's like a golden retriever and its paw like turns inside out or something. I'm like,
Oh
what the
yeah,
hell? Yeah. So, but also I think Instagram recently, from what I can tell, hasn't really been pushing artists like
yeah.
static
Mm.
images very much.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that in terms of love life drawing as a business, that
Right.
I'm not sure how. I think it used to be really good,
Mm.
and I should have been doing it back then. But I'm not sure how. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do more. I always say that I'm gonna try and do more Instagram, but I probably won't. But YouTube is our big thing.
Yes.
I can easily get hooked on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the side note, but the thing I've done there is to turn off the watch history so the algorithm can't figure me out.
Mm.
And that's good because it makes it, I've only got my subscriptions
Yeah.
tab.
Yeah.
And so it's only what I choose. So anyway, the business side of things, yeah, I think that the business side of things is it would be sort of nice if it was just dependent on like how great your art was or something,
Mm.
but it's basically not. It's more its own set of skills, and so the more you put into those skills, the better the business side goes, I think.
Mm.
It's related, like you need some good skills and you need to work on your skills, but there's a massive set of things to learn if you want to make a business of art.
Mm.
or of anything. And so, yeah, just in the same way that I set up a learning curriculum or whatever for myself for drawing and painting, I did for learning online business, basically.
Yeah.
And that's a much more grubby world than the art world. One thing that's really nice in the art world is mostly people are doing it out of love of art, right? And you can see, like, does this person know what they're talking about? Or
Yes.
is this person got something that I want to learn?
Mm.
Well, like we talked about, they've got that line quality that I like. So I'm going to, watch their lesson or whatever. They use colors in a way that I really like. So I'm going to check them out. So it's really very visible. It's easy to see if you want to do it. And most of the people are like not very scammy and stuff like that. So it's really good. Whereas in the world of learning about how to run an online business, it's there's a lot, it's like a minefield, but because there's a lot of like people pushing just nonsense or things that are a bit too not, like kind of, yeah, too pushy in terms of sales, which I'm not really comfortable with.
Yes.
Like I don't want to be super duper pushy, basically. So I think I found a pretty good set of ideas that kind of work with my values, basically, so I can run it in a way that I feel good about myself and stuff. But it was a whole thing of learning and like trying different things and listening to different podcasts until I found the ideas that really work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of learning, almost similar to the amount of learning I had to do for drawing and painting.
Yeah, that was great. And I must admit, like, and that was something I wanted to say to you. I really appreciate with Love Life Drawing that you have your own like forum and platform. Like, I don't have to go into Facebook or a Facebook group to, I guess, converse or see work. And for someone
I hate Facebook. Yeah.
For someone who struggles mentally when I'm on those platforms, that's such a big benefit.
Yeah. I mean, even without all the weird stuff with Facebook, like
yeah, it's all the
privacy stuff and all that. Just the user interface, I find really complicated and annoying. So yeah, we have a community that's built on a platform called Circle, which I think is nice and clean and pleasant to be in, and it's very simple.
Yeah.
And mostly, yeah, the community is really, really good. And I was pretty worried about because we've got a free area, which has a lot of cool stuff in it, and people can post their work. And there's a lot of people in there. And then yeah, we have the sort of paid area in the study group. But I was initially quite concerned about having an online community because, open to the world and things like that. But most people are cool. They've been really enthusiastic about sharing their drawings. And so that's really nice. It's been a really friendly place overall. Because, I was kind of like, well, most online, when people get online, they go weird, don't they? And
yes.
They get mean and all of that. But actually, I found like even in the YouTube comments, maybe it's again this art niche.
Yes.
We don't have as much. People are nice. I don't know why. Maybe there's not loads of money to be made, or I don't know. It's people who just really want to make something and express themselves. Like that's why you get into art. You don't get into it because you're trying to get something negative.
Or, spread hate or something like that. It's usually a positive type of
usually
outlet.
Mostly, right? And the vibe in the YouTube comments or in the community and all that is generally really, occasionally I'll get I don't want to swear, but we'll get someone who I don't like in there, but but generally speaking, yeah, really, I've been really like pleasantly surprised by it. Yeah. I'm wondering, like, maybe a lot of online communities are like that, and we see the bad, like the biggest, most visible ones are real toxic, but I wonder how much of the internet is actually just like motorbike enthusiasts enthusiastically and joyfully talking about
Yeah.
motorbikes or something, or
Yeah.
chess or whatever it is.
Our brains are kind of skewed to see the negative, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, right? And see big problems. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like how we look at our own art. Like you just get picked. I definitely did notice that. Like I'd get 100 positive comments, and then that one negative one would be the one that would reverberate around for a while.
Yeah, I was going to say,
But actually,
how do you deal with that, like, and move through that?
yeah. So now, I mean, like I say, there aren't that many, which is nice. Yeah, but you can just hide it. The thing I like about hiding it is that they don't even know that they're hidden.
Right.
So they can keep writing comments and just like no one ever sees it, which I think is really funny.
Is this
'Cause
on
they want
YouTube or?
that's on YouTube,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
like that because you don't want them to know that they've affected you, right? Because that's their goal, is to get reaction. But if you can just hide it and then they don't even know, I think that's really good.
Yeah.
So I just hide it, and then yeah, and these days I don't really care at all because I've done it for 8 years or whatever it is. So
Yeah. I was going to say, over
yeah.
time, do you develop, kind of a thicker skin to it, or, it's more that
Yes,
your,
yeah.
your purpose in doing it, and that's what matters more than really any of the negativity.
Yeah, and now though the ones that can get me still are the ones that seem to be coming from a genuine, the ones that are like, they're not just trying to be a troll, but they've hit on a genuine thing that you genuinely could have
Right.
done better, or whatever, and they're like pointing it out, and then you're like, damn, yeah, that's true. That bit of the video could have been better, or something like that.
Yeah.
And if they say that in a rude way, it's hard, right? Because you're like, I want to hate you because you're rude,
Yeah.
but you're right. And those are the hard ones, right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, that's a whole other world I don't know about, is YouTube and dealing with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a tricky thing with because like the platform for videos on YouTube is so different to the one for podcasts, right? Where, you watch one and you get served up all these other ones. But there's also like comments and this whole kind of ecosystem around it. Whereas with podcasts, you don't get the comments, right? I don't know why, but it's developed in such a different
yeah.
way, like the way that you take them in.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, it's probably like there's not the social side of it, I guess, with comments, and that is there so much. It's
Yeah.
more you'll listen to it on the way to work, or it's a more an individual thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kenzo, I guess going forward into the future, what sort of plans do you have for Love Life Drawing or your own art?
So for Love Life Drawing, I really like it the way it is. I'm really happy with it. And I would love it if it just plateaued. So obviously maybe it could grow and stuff, but my main thing is if it could just stay the same, be great. I really enjoy it, and it it provides for our family, and it's sort of small enough that I can get to know people, and it feels personal while still being substantial, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels meaningful, but not like sort of impersonal, if that makes sense. But so in order to do that, though, I can't just keep doing the same things because the world changes, even if I don't want it to. So I have to. One thing is that I'm getting more and more niche with the stuff that I'm practicing, the skills that I'm interested in. In the beginning, I was just trying to figure out perspective and how to draw a person, stuff, how to draw a face. Whereas now my own practice is getting more and more specific into what I like, and I guess more advanced, right? And so there's a little bit of a disconnect between what I need to be making in the YouTube videos and stuff. The study group's a bit different because people are also interested in these niche topics and are getting more and more advanced. But for the YouTube, I got to find like interesting ways to present these more generalized, like more universal principles and stuff, right? And introduce people to these ideas and help them get it. And that was a bit easier before because I was doing it and I was thinking about it all day, whereas now I'm thinking about other stuff. So that's something I've got to figure out, is keep continuing to make those good videos for the channel. I might do more shorts because that seems to be something that one way that people like to take stuff in. But also I want to continue to move into more sophisticated topics, I guess, for the people who have learned a lot, right, already, who have developed their skills further. And then, in terms of my own stuff, I'm going to really try and focus on that graphic novel and all those skills, which is going to be a huge thing.
Yeah.
I suspect it's going to be one where I work through it, and by the end of it, the stuff that I've done at the start doesn't look good to me anymore, and I have to redo it. And I might just keep going through it on a loop forever. So, but yeah, that's the current plan.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It'll be the book that never ends or something like that, Tom.
Yeah, just keep.
I don't know why it reminded me of it. Did you ever get that lamb chop sing along? I think my kids listened to it when they were little, but it was this. He'd sing this song, and it was the song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. And anyway, it just loops over. And I still remember it because Xander would sing it over and over.
Yeah. The kids love to have stuff that goes over, like to just do the same thing, same
repetitive
song or something. Same book over and over and over again. I don't know.
No, I could never deal with that. I was always watch a movie once, read a book once.
Oh, really? Even when you're a kid, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
strange.
Brilliant.
I think Pretty Woman was the only movie I watched, and maybe I've watched it 3 times, but
that's good. That's good going. I think I watched when I used to watch the Naked Gun film.
Oh yeah.
Like over and over again. I don't know what that's probably a bad influence on a kid, but I just watched it like every day after school for like a year.
I love it. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Kenzo, for, I don't know, like beginner artists or people who, like you say, those people who say, I don't know how to draw?
Yeah. So I personally think that almost anyone can learn how to draw, but I don't know that definitively. I just seen people, including myself, be unable to draw well at all. Like their drawings look like any beginner. And then if they consistently do the exercises and build this simplification skill, be able to eventually figure it out. Like I said, for me, I had to do it 75 weeks in a row before I got it, but eventually got it and now can do it. So I'm open to the idea that maybe some people genuinely can't or something, but I just haven't really seen that when the person has. Sometimes people, including myself, through my 20s, like you can draw a lot but not get anywhere because you're not actually doing the thing, right? You're kind of spinning your wheels by doing the same things over and over again. But if you genuinely try to do the actual exercises, I basically think it will work. So then it's a matter of how to keep yourself consistent, and then trying to stay focused on like most people need to learn the same things in the beginning, and then they can branch off into specifics for things that they love. And those things are, like I was saying, like the simplifying basically forms and values. And so if you can like consistently practice that, then you probably, improve a lot. I think, if you can really try to do it. And it will, it's very painful to do. One thing is that our brains come sort of with software installed for drawing already, and it's really bad. So, it's all these symbols of what things should look like, and it distorts. For any face, we'll draw a symbol of an eye and a symbol of a nose and all of that. So we're not just starting from 0, we're always starting from like -10. And the first steps is just to sort of uninstall that software and get back to, so when we're sort of working from a deficit. So it makes it kind of, if we were just copying abstract shapes, we could copy them pretty well. But trying to reconstruct these 3D shapes that we already have preconceived ideas about is really hard. So that's why it's quite a painful process in the beginning. But once you do it, it gets easier and easier, I think. It's kind of like rolling the boulder up a hill, and eventually you get to the top of the hill and it starts to roll down. I do think that happens with it. So, if you're struggling, then, I don't know, maybe some of that is helpful.
Yeah. No, I think that's a nice analogy. Thank you so much, Kenzo, for joining me today. And I guess, where is the best place for people to find you?
Yeah, so we have lovelifedrawing.com. But probably the easiest way to get to know what we're teaching is our YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and put in Love Life Drawing, you should find it. And if you want to learn figures, we have a free mini course called Fresh Eyes, which is good. And there's a couple of tutorials on the channel about that as well. And if you want to learn portraits, we have that as well. As figures and portraits are our main thing. We've got some good ones about perspective too, which are really good for starting out with perspective. But yeah, any of those things are worth checking out.
And I think in the study group, you've got a colour course coming up in March, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I am too. I have to learn a lot about color.
Yeah.
With those courses, I'm always like, I know this topic. I'm just going to write this course straight out of my head. And then I start getting into it and I go, oh no, there's so much more to this.
Yeah.
And so there's loads of research and stuff to do and practice to do. But yeah, in the study group, we have really good courses to sort of slowly build your figure skills from, really doable steps. And each step builds on the last and all of that. And same for portraits, same for drawing clothed poses.
Because you've also got a how to draw anything one as well, don't you?
Yeah. So that's more like perspective and just basic observation, like how big is this, relative proportions and stuff. So you can just draw whatever stuff that you're looking at. Yeah, we've kind of got a lot of the bases covered, including more like design and composition stuff to make your drawings look the way you want them to. The sort of big thing is that they take you through all the fundamental steps quite systematically, so that you feel like you're not kind of lurching about from random idea to random idea. You're kind of systematically building these foundational skills. And then from there, you can branch off and develop, your style of thing and all of that.
Yeah. Awesome. It's been wonderful to chat today, Kenzo. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on the Trailblazers Palette podcast. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe and share if you enjoyed the episode. Stay tuned for more inspiring conversations with incredible guests. Keep blazing your trail, and until next time, stay inspired. This is Sancha, your host, signing off. See you soon, Trailblazers.